intro. Introduction to like the podcast.
Welcome to the Avonword.
Presented by the Avonews.
My name is Keyaira Cameron. I'm your co-editor-in-chief and host for today.
My name is Danica Raich, and I'm also a co-editor-in-chief and host for today.
So I'm in 12th grade. We're both seniors, actually. And we kind of specialize in like different parts, and it helps us both kind of make a cohesive unit within the Avonews and the Avonword. So I focus more on like photography and videography.
I've taken over a lot of the layout portion. I have been working cohesively with the social media aspects of the Avonews as well, to really boost the platform for the Avonews in the school district.
And it's a very different format than what we've had any other year. I mean, as we all know, we've been in a pandemic, COVID, and so that changed a lot of what we've been doing, and we've been trying to have a lot more emphasis on our Instagram, which you should follow. And then we, like I said before, we're doing this podcast, so we've had an emphasis on that to try to get the news to you guys, try to get it in a more, I guess, Gen Z way, and get everyone to be able to watch it and enjoy the news.
We have an online PDF coming out beginning of November, marking the end of the semester. So keep an eye out for that. We'll definitely promote it on the Instagram.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting, guys. And one of the reasons why you should read it too is because all of it is going to be geared to timely things that are happening right now, especially in our community. And there's different editorials you can read too to hear more student opinions. That's what we want a lot of, our student opinions. Because this is for us, right? We're all the students. And even if you think you have a take on something that maybe isn't popular, we want to give everyone the chance to talk and to give their opinions. So let's talk about our
The shutdown.
We talked about it a little bit in the last podcast, where we had Val and Liana talking. But time to give our perspective. So I'm a full virtual student. You do hybrid.
I'm a hybrid student in Group B.
Yeah. So
we live very different lives.
Yeah, yep. So for me, at least, nothing really changed. I mean, it was more of like, I heard about it. I was like, well, am I really surprised? Not really. But also, does that affect me? No. I mean, there were talks of people like one of the groups that had to go in or like do their virtual things online and have their meetings and stuff. They were like, oh, I have to do my Google Meets. And I was like, well, I'm just kind of doing the same thing, waking up, making my breakfast, playing with my dog, stressing about college, but like nothing really changed. I mean, that's like every single day, Common App season.
Of course. Probably the biggest aspect of change in my life was I went from actual classroom classes to classrooms with Keyaira and them again. So that was nice. We just got out of an hour-long English call before this, so because of the virtual calls, so that was pretty different for me.
Yeah, that was one of our first classes we've had, just me and you, in a while.
Right.
We have this thing, like, it seems for a while there we weren't being in like the same classes. They were keeping us apart, a little bit too powerful, you know what I mean? So they had to kind of keep us apart. But this year, we're finding a way, even with the pandemic.
Right. There's certainly a
against us, yeah. So I know we're both in sports as well. So we have, a different experience. I'm sure all sports are different across the board. And I know you are having active swim practices. I play softball, she swims. And for softball right now, we're not having any active practices, but soon we are supposed to start open gyms. Open gyms, we go into the gym at the school and we hit in the cage and we throw in the gym, we do different drills, anything we can, because obviously it gets cold out. And when it gets cold out, we can't really go outside and play. I mean, we have had practices before where it has snowed and we've been out there and it wasn't that enjoyable. So we try to avoid that. And as everyone knows, like COVID in the gym being inside in like enclosed areas is much more of a risk. So right now we were supposed to start in the following week, and that's been delayed again. And my coach has been trying to talk to, Mrs. DeWoollett and trying to figure everything out. But obviously with Avonword shutting down, we're having some problems trying to get into the gym. And obviously it's hard to wear a mask sometimes when you're practicing. But actually, whenever I practice, I wear my mask the entire time. But it can be difficult depending on what you're doing. So I don't know how swim. Obviously, you can't wear it when you're underwater.
Right, when we're in the water.
Yeah.
So when we kind of started out this summer, it was practicing outdoors was fairly easy to do. Every lane has 1 or 2 swimmers. We're outside. It was very easy. But since we've gone into kind of like the fall season, we have a joint team with Northgate, and they are fully online. So we kind of have to take into consideration that they're not exposed to people, and we are every day. So anytime we have to kind of shut down here, they also have to shut down, and they're all at risk too. So we've been navigating that so far with all the closures. We've been out pretty much all week, half of last week. Today was supposed to be our first day back, but I'm missing practice right now for this
podcast.
Important podcast that Keyaira
forced upon you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say forced, but notified me every day of the month about the podcast.
Love that. Speaking of sports, we should talk about some of the seasons that are going on right now. I enjoyed going to the games and taking pictures. I don't know if you guys know, but I went on the field and I took pictures as like a student photographer.
And I enjoyed following you around, reporting on the social media.
Yeah. If you guys saw any of that coverage.
Of course.
Yeah. We're going to try to do that with as many of the events that we can. You guys let us know, what events do you want coverage of? Any sports clubs that you guys are thinking of? We would love to help and be able to showcase like the talent. I had a lot of fun going to the football games, even though we're seniors, started last year. But just a little reminder, going to those football games, obviously last year we would have had no idea that we only had 3 left, But I enjoyed being there a lot, being on the field, seeing the fan sections go crazy, and I think the administration, Mrs. DeWoollett, everyone did a really good job to be able to get students there and to, simulate a regular experience. And I also just want to say, I love the band, just to let you guys know. Love the band and everyone involved, but yeah, want to mention that.
Yeah, congratulations to the football, the band, and the cheerleaders, the seniors, everyone involved.
Yeah, we really appreciate the administration for their efforts for that. And overall, even going back a few weeks to the Halloween, or not Halloween, the homecoming, bonfire and stuff, but just little things. And I hope that all the other grades are seeing the efforts being put in, because we do talk a lot about some of the things that are going on in the school that we don't like all the time on the podcast. But there are a lot of things that is going into making school a good experience. So I appreciate that. So the girls soccer team doing great right now. We're in the playoffs, and they had an undefeated season. They lost their game last week, and so that's only 1 loss though, but they're still in playoffs. And I think it's really exciting.
Yeah,
they just won their game last night.
That was a real nail biter.
Yeah, yeah. I was there and I was taking pictures, and soccer just in general, the dedication you have to have. I look at them playing, and the entire time I'm thinking to myself, is there any bad soccer player? Because I'm seeing them running back and forth, right? And everyone, you have to be so technical about what you're doing, and I could never imagine for 40-minute halves, they have to run across the field back and forth nonstop to be technical in what they're doing. And I think the girls soccer team is really doing amazing, and I think you guys are really talented, and I'm excited to see where we go, Even with COVID happening right now, the fact that we can still look forward to sports is really exciting.
And cross country had their Whippy Old meet today, so congratulations to everyone who ran.
Seeing all the sports and having the chance to experience from the sidelines or taking pictures and capturing those moments and stuff, it's just really cool. And I didn't think I would have the chance to do that this year. And I know with reporting on it, you and Matthew Purcell
social media manager. He is phenomenal. He runs a lot of the stuff on the Instagram with the stories and the posting. He's really great. Go like his work. He is also a member of student council. He does. He's running a 5K for Grief Awareness Month, so go check that out. With
you should definitely sign up.
Yes, it's a 5K run or walk, I believe. So there is an option if you can't run like me.
That's their student council. They also have an Instagram. You guys should check that out. I'm also in the club. I'm the secretary, so I've been taking notes. And Miracle, who's behind the camera, is also in student council, so that's a lot of fun.
I don't know if it's just me, but I've had a terrible workload. I don't know if it's my senioritis or just the assignments piling up, the deadlines on Google Classroom. I'm sure every person in no matter what grade can relate to that.
You know, that's interesting because I never thought that I would have senioritis. I have loved being a part of this community, being at this school, right? And forever people would tell me like, I'm having senioritis, can't wait to go to college, like get out of like my little bubble. Because we are in a bubble at Avonworth and a lot of times, and you know, we're within our community, we're small. But never once did I ever think I would have senioritis. And I can say this year that I have senioritis. And it's crazy how, you know, negative for COVID, but caught a different virus. This workload, like you said,
Right.
I mean, it's just, and I don't think it's senioritis though. I think that
it's a mix of the fact that we're living through a global pandemic, but on top of that, it's a very like heavy weight to carry, this sense of dread that a lot of I feel like adults aren't going to understand. This is something that we're kind of going through alone. And
well, I think the reason why senioritis is so exasperated this year is because I mean, we're in this pandemic and we want to get out of it, right?
Right.
And we obviously see that it's almost been like a year of COVID. So we want to get through the year, and to get through the year, we have to pass up our senior year, and it's not the exact same. So we're having these bouts of like, okay, I want to get this over with. Like, why am I doing this work? And it's definitely interesting because at the beginning of COVID in March, when like the first 2 weeks, when we got out, I wasn't allowed to like do much, right? As many of us weren't. And I had just like no motivation to do anything. And then suddenly, like through the summer, I got a little bit more, started working on college stuff, and now senior year, we're starting, and like I'm losing motivation again. And I think it's because we realize we just want to get out of where we are.
Right.
I mean, everyone's having a tough 2020.
Right.
I just want to get to 2021.
2021.
Yeah. And just when we graduate.
Right.
Can't believe that. Insane.
So going back to what you said about March, did you see this coming?
No, I don't think anyone did. Literally, me and a few other people, we filmed a music or a documentary about the spring musical, right? So the day that school got shut down, we were still after school filming the musical, and they had just shut down their thing. Crowd was like, yeah, we're not gonna rehearse today, you know, maybe just take a break. And I thought, yay, you know, going home, let me just leave Lincoln's stuff here, maybe bring an SD card, maybe I can work on something. Turns out, you know, I go home, and then I have like, almost all the footage was going to get deleted from months of work, and so I didn't expect that at all. I mean, I left all my stuff here, you know, in the lockers, and
Right.
I know a lot of people had to come up and bring that. What about you? Did you expect it?
Well, back in March, absolutely not. I really thought we were going to head back April 31st. I think that was the day we were going to head back, but we had to turn around on our van to States. Probably an hour and a half into the drive, our coach just pulled off of the exit on the turnpike, put it in reverse, and we just drove back home. And that was that for our championship swimming meet. So, yeah, but moving into the summer, I think a lot of people expected that we would close down actually within the first 2 weeks. So we made it pretty far. We were in like our 9th week. So it lasted longer than I expected.
what do you do like over the summer to try to like keep yourself busy? And like summer, we say that, but like it didn't feel like summer really.
Right.
It felt like a hiatus, and it was like a weird, like, I don't know. For me, it was just weird.
I feel like you're luring me into talking about my 5 a.m. swimming practices.
I love this.
Because that's what I did over the summer. 5 a.m. swimming practices.
Yeah. I tried to pick up some new hobbies, I got a longboard, and for you guys who don't know what happened, I got my longboard, feeling great. Felt like a great skater, just going along the roads. Well, really the roads, I mean like around the school over and over. And I felt great, okay? I felt like I was really gonna be like the next Tony Hawk. And then I tried to go down this hill, okay? It wasn't even a long hill, okay, Danica? It wasn't long. And I started going down it after I literally had just got done vlogging, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is great, haha, going on it. And I went down the hill, and then all of a sudden I'm speeding up, going lightning fast like a car, okay? And I'm like, oh no, just stick with it. And I realized I was picking up too much speed. Like smoke was coming off of the wheels. And so I step off, and I splat on the ground, head first, into the concrete road. And I feel my teeth shatter. And well, I continued skating after that, after I healed up a little bit later. But currently missing a tooth. But you'll never know that. Because that's what COVID has done for me. Has let me have my mask, have my flipper tooth. So that's good. But soon it will be fixed, guys. I'm not even worried about it. So I just wanted to tell you that story as ways that I found happiness during COVID.
And that's why we wear masks in school. With that,
well, let's talk about summer a little bit more. So we did a lot of different things.
Of course.
With Avonews. We met with Mr. Tuffiash like every week basically and talked about what we wanted this year. And I mean, we weren't even using the Instagram before the summertime.
Right.
So you had your chance to write your first article.
Oh yes, that was very interesting, especially being named a co-editor-in-chief before I had published my first article in Avonews Online. So that was interesting. I wrote a few articles. I interviewed Keyaira about her photographs downtown during a protest, and I just, we had a very productive summer where we tried to build a real platform, both for ourselves as the new editors-in-chief and as Avonworth students living through a pandemic.
And I think too, like, if any of us ever want to go back and see how it was during the summer, because memory can get messed up, right? Even though we were all vividly living the same like lives, just with variants. But if you ever want to go back and see kind of where things started, some of the tension that's been going on in the country, like we talked about that, we wrote about it.
We did.
Like Danica said, she interviewed me because I went down and took pictures, downtown at one of the protests, and it was just getting a curfew. And it was just crazy to see. You see everything on the news, right? But to actually go down and to experience it yourself, or to write about it yourself as a journalist, like, and if you guys want to experience it, like, through Avonworth students,
right.
I mean, it's cool to see it all come together, and it's not outside of our realm of reality, right? It's like, it's here, it's happening right now. And you guys can read more about that too in the Avonews that is coming out, because we have editorials, and it's really exciting. Same with the election, going on. We'll see more talks of that. And if anyone wants to talk about politics, we're definitely going to try to have a little episode there. Keep things civil though, of course.
Keep things interesting.
We're going to keep trying to update everyone through the Avonews. We have a special notification that we use for when the school is shut down because of COVID-19. So keep your eye out for that. We do a really good job at keeping that updated.
That's all Danica and Matthew especially. Like, all the graphics you guys have seen on there. Lots of hard work there. I mean, everything with like the Instagram, it looks great. And that's because of the hard work of Danica right here and Matthew.
And it would never be possible without Keyaira texting me at midnight saying, you have to get this out to the people now.
We gotta be timely. We want you guys to know what's happening when it's happening. Because as they say, a good school newspaper is a school listening to itself.
So again, we're your co-editors, Danica and Keyaira, signing off on our
She's
first
Danica, I'm Keyaira.
on our first Avonews podcast together. Hopefully not our last. Thanks for watching.
Bye guys. Oh, we're back.
We're back for our second podcast.
So we're predicting who might be president per suggestion of Mr. Tuffiash over there. You can imagine him right over there. Don't worry. I'll put in a sticker. So, who's going to be president? So personally, I'm writing my name down, even though I can't vote. So hopefully go vote for me, guys. Dan? Well, okay. I'm hoping Biden. Okay. But, I mean, right now, like the polls, right, has been leaning towards Biden. But as we know, the polls aren't always accurate.
Right.
So there's always...
If 2016 is any indication of that.
Mm-hmm. So it's always up in the air. And by the time this podcast is out, we'll know, right?
We could know.
Could know. Yeah, it's up in the air. I'm hoping for Biden. I think he'll win.
With what we're seeing in Georgia and Florida and even Texas, I think it might be Biden's race this year. So, but I think a lot of people are wondering when we're going to find out about the election results and if a particular leader will step down from his position if it turns out that the ballots are counted and Joe Biden wins the election. So it's certainly going to be interesting. And obviously Avonews is reporting that. We're going to push an election special PDF that we are composing right now. So,
and if any of you guys out there who want to speak your opinions, like I said before, just because I want Biden to win doesn't mean you want Biden to win, and we want all perspectives. I think really what's really important in politics especially, and while we're so young, is making sure that you get all sides so that you can then make a conclusion from that, because a lot of times you'll hear people like, this is biased, blah, blah, blah. Well, ultimately it's going to come down to your decision, what you think, your morals, what you want for the country. And in order to get a full circle reasoning for that and to be able to back up your opinions is to be able to look and listen to sources that you don't necessarily agree with or from other sides and deduct your reasoning from that. So definitely do that. There's a lot of good sources out there, and I'm sure you guys can find it. I'm not gonna just push it, but definitely look out for everything. And we'll see what it's going to be like this political season.
roller coaster.
Well, I guess you guys know though. It's like you're from the future right now. You already know what's happening. I could be completely wrong.
What's the date that this is coming out?
So next like Wednesday. So, or not Wednesday, like Friday.
Anyway, thank you for watching.
Yeah. Alright, bye guys. This is what Mal did last time.